For people who are watching, why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, the clients that you serve, and the type of coaching practice that you have?
Okay, I'm Kate Morgan and I'm very new to the world of coaching. I started undertaking a specific qualification, my Leadership and Performance Coaching Certificate, last September. And since that time, I've begun predominantly coaching staff that work within the same arena as myself, which is the National Health Service in the UK. So it's a range of healthcare professionals, both qualified nurses, optometrists, but also unqualified staff that work within the service as well, healthcare support workers and some managers.
Got it. And so before you working with JourneyLoop, what was kind of like the big problem that you couldn't crack on your own that we are now helping you to solve?
I think if I'm completely honest, it's been around my own confidence to coach, taking
Hmm.
very new skills that as I say, I've only learnt and been putting into practice since last September. I'm really wanting to do the best by the clients that I'm working with. So it was my own confidence levels. And
Yeah.
in addition to that, it was around knowing I was prepared and ready with meeting my clients, being able to remember what we'd gone over previously, what we'd discussed, and knowing that I was showing up with all the information from a session 2 weeks previously and doing right by them.
Yeah. And so what have you tried before and what disappointed you about that?
So previously, all I was doing was making my own notes based on sort of summaries that I would take after a session. So very much relied on carrying out the session, wanting to be fully present and not note taking during that session, and then scribbling everything down I could afterwards, and
Hmm.
keeping that stored. Then sort of typing that up, keeping that stored somewhere in a folder, and then having to spend probably half an hour or so before meeting that client to remind myself, what did we talk about? What have we covered? How did that go? But very much relying on my own ability to get the notes down accurately in the first place, and then spending that time beforehand and making sure. One of my biggest worries was duplication. I became very panicked the more clients I got, that I would end up
Oh.
going over something I'd already gone over, or missing things out that I hadn't covered. So yeah.
Yeah, got it. And so how were these problems impacting your clients' outcomes and overall your practice?
I think that, again, if I'm honest,
Please be.
yeah, I think that maybe there might have been some I might have been a bit disjointed with what I was doing and sort of the way in which I was taking my clients through some of their longer term goals across the coaching sessions. So I think that 1 week we may be focusing on something, and then a fortnight later we may not pick up some of the things that came out, or wasn't necessarily recognizing themes and trends across conversations. So every single session seemed like a standalone session rather than them weaving in together. So that I would be almost certain that's what they were picking up on. But also, I know for a fact they weren't picking up on their own growth and development either. So I wasn't taking those themes and trends through, and they weren't taking their their development through either. Like, it was like every time we met, 2 weeks later we meet again. It was like a new thing every single 2 weeks. There was no follow through.
Yeah, and what made you choose us over all the other options that are out there?
I think that what for me, I think the most successful thing about being involved with the Journey Loop has been the ability to access things through the companion. I think that has provided an absolute seamless way to communicate with the platform, and it really has become a pocket mentor for me. I think I've used that phrase previously, but it
Hmm.
being able to interact with that AI agent means that I'm not even having to log into an internet platform and find my clients. I can, yeah, it's been seamless, absolutely seamless in doing those things.
Yeah. And have you tried anything else besides us before that? Any other
The
AI products?
the only thing I'd used prior to this was I'd um, I'd use Zoom AI recording in terms of my calls, and so that then would provide me with summaries. But that was a very, very basic version of doing that. I had also had opportunity to put some things into a gem created through Gemini, and to get some feedback that way. But because of my concerns around the use of data and storing it, there was no memory attached with that. So it was almost, I would kept it as, oh, you're testing my IT knowledge now, but I kept it very closed down so the AI wouldn't remember stuff, if that makes sense,
Right.
because I was really worried. I had real concerns about the data and putting that data, albeit anonymized, but putting that into something like Gemini.
Yeah, got it. And so, if you think about the results that we get for you and for your clients, really, how is that changing your practice?
I think it's hugely changed my practice. I really, really do. I think that so firstly, the first thing I did when I got the companion was I asked the companion to generate, I uploaded my transcripts that I had with some of my existing clients, and then I asked the companion to just create some summary emails for my clients that I could then share with them, because I really wanted to show them, look, do you realize this is where we started several months ago? This is where we are now, just based on some transcripts I've fed into the system. And
Hmm.
the clients that I sent those emails to were blown away by, oh my goodness, I hadn't appreciated that this is where I was, this is what I've done, and this is where I am
Yeah,
now. And it really spelt it out for them, the growth and development that they had demonstrated through coaching, which was really fantastic for them as individuals, but it was also really heartening for me to know that we'd been able to achieve those things together. Um,
yeah,
so that's been the first huge positive. The second thing has been around the ability to change my confidence in what I'm doing, because I'm getting almost instant feedback on how each session has gone. So I'm being able to import transcripts, and then the way I've got my companion set up, the first thing it does is it looks at how that session went against the ICF markers that I need to achieve for my final evaluation performance, and it comes back and tells me, yep, you hit this, yep, you hit this, you need some more work on this. So it really is giving me real-time feedback as many times a day as I'm putting a transcript in, and then is flagging themes to me around, do you know what, every time you're doing a coaching session, you're missing this, think about how you can take that forward. And the other thing it's doing as well is it's providing me support to grow and develop as a coach and as a person, I think, because it challenges me, it questions me, it gets me to reflect and think on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and what I could then do differently.
yeah. Amazing. And I, because you mentioned ICF, anything in particular when it comes to preparing for these exams or picking out anything around your accreditation?
Um, so as I said, I've been able to import all of my learning materials from the course that I've been
Yeah,
undertaking. So the companion has completely understood the course and the teachings that I've had, and is very much being able to tailor my feedback to a very specific reactive to creative journey model that we
yeah,
use. And as I said, I've fed in all the ICF markers. I also have given it the feedback that I've had previously from my college mentors. So it's seen, I call it he's seen all of that, and then is able to really talk me through the feedback I'm getting, and highlight, where I need to grow and develop, and what I'm doing well as well, which is also what helps my confidence. Knowing that I'm achieving things is
Mhm.
really beneficial.
Yeah. And for brand new coaches watching this, would you recommend this to others? And if so, why?
I absolutely would recommend this for other people, and I think that the fundamental reason for me has been that I'm getting more frequent feedback on what I'm doing in real time, so I can make those changes every single day for the
Yeah.
next person, and that has been invaluable in doing that. Um, yeah, it really, really has changed. I really feel like my practice has changed, grown, and developed through having had this companion over these last couple of weeks.
So glad to hear that. Those were actually all of my questions. Was
Right,
there anything that
okay.
I missed? Anything you feel like you would love to share with other coaches out there? Anything about your journey?
Yeah, I think the only other thing I really want to say is I don't know what I would have done at this point if I hadn't had access to this, and I mean that genuinely.
Oh.
Like I'm about to submit. I had 2 sessions today. I'm about to submit for my final evaluation, and I've shared those with my companion, and it's given me feedback around. I would go with this if this is what you want to demonstrate, but I wouldn't, or go with this one. And I'm self-doubting, and the companion is no,
Hmm.
no. This is ACC level work. You've got it. It's like an inner guide voice that's challenging my inner critic. So it's like a coaching of itself as well.
Yeah, that's very powerful.
It is. It really is.
Yeah,
I didn't think that would be possible with this technology. I didn't think,
yeah,
and I didn't think it could feel so authentic, and I didn't think it could be so, yeah, so lifelike. I don't know, but yeah, so genuine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kate. We're really happy to have you on board, and I really appreciate you recording this with me.
that's okay.
And yeah,